Kia ora koutou, ko Riri Tikao taku ingoa. I am the General Manager of the Matapopore Charitable Trust. You've already heard from Aroha Rereti Cross, who is our chairperson. So I'm just going to get myself a little bit organised here, and I will be talking to you a bit about tūranga. This building means a lot to us, to Christchurch, and it's part of a part of a wider narrative that we're telling throughout the city. But firstly, I want to talk to you just a little bit about who we are and how we came to be, and really our our role within our new and emerging city. Okay, so a little bit of background. So Matapopore was first established by Nai Tuahuriri, who hold mana whenua within Central City Christchurch, as well as most of a fair chunk of Canterbury. And so we were set up to be, I suppose, the mana whenua voice within recovery. When the recovery plan was first established by council, Ngāi Tahu, and by the Crown, Ngāi Tahu were a partner in that relationship. And in that recovery plan, they identified important objectives and their aspirations. And the aspiration was really to have a more visible identity. They wanted their stories, their values to be expressed within the city. And those values, as we all know within Christchurch, and those stories and that history had long since been removed through the process of colonisation. Christchurch, is traditionally very much a European city, and as you will see within our new city that we're beginning to really see come to life now, is that we're seeing that cultural identity expressed through artwork, but also through design, through our landscaping, through architecture, through the way in which the city operates. So that was our role, really. Matapopore was set up to do just that, to be the group that were in charge of embedding that identity. I love this photo. This is taken out at Tuahiwi. There's Aroha, her sister, she's got her whānau around her, her bro in the background. This shows the colourful people that we work for, and it's their identity that we're in charge of. And our trustees of the Matapopore Trust have been put there by the Runanga to ensure that what we do is a true reflection of them and their identity. Why is this important? Firstly, it's important to give effect to the principles of Te Tiriti o Waitangi, the Treaty of Waitangi. It is about partnership, it's about participation, it's about protection. And I always like to paint the picture, like if you can imagine what our world would look like, what our cities, our built environments would look like, how they would feel to live in if they were a true reflection of a treaty partnership. And we'll go into some of the things that we've been doing that really start to bring to life some of what we think is a true partnership. Embedding cultural identity is also about building pride. Pride in New Zealand, pride in our Indigenous identity. This has a beneficial effect, obviously, on Māori, because when you see yourself and you have a strong sense of identity, it impacts positively on your sense of well-being, on your health. It's also important for all of us, because for everybody, it should instill a sense of pride, because we're wanting all of our kids to grow up and be part of, this culture. So it's not us and them. So they don't have to battle some of the stuff we've had to. They'll understand it and feel a sense of connection to it as well. Demystifying is what we like, is basically what we're trying to do. There's also a growing interest in Indigenous knowledge systems around the world. These systems are about fostering a deeper respect and connection to the natural environment, and really looking at ways in which we can live, which are really founded on the concept of reciprocity. And also mana whenua narratives and values are unique to this landscape. It's about people and place. And this uniqueness, is of interest is of growing interest. I suppose in our modern lives, there's so much. We're wanting more meaning, and this is a way of being able to share those stories, because a lot of the stories that we tell are all about connecting us back to the land. And this also is of interest, grown in particularly in a city like ours that is in a state of recovery. It's of interest to our visitors too. It's a way of saying, come and experience something truly unique. Come and learn our stories and experience our place. So this is a little bit about how we go about doing what we do. You would have, a lot of you I'm sure would have heard our guiding kaupapa, which is kia te whai ki te iwi. It's about being kind to your people. And this was this kaupapa was recounted by Peter Te Hori, who was the first upoko runanga of Ngāi Tuahuriri. And what he's wanting to say is that, he wants it's about showing respect and building a city that's inclusive. It's a city that is for everybody. So everything that we do, even though we may be telling specific narratives, the underlying kaupapa behind everything we do is about manaakitanga. It's about how we care for everybody. We, as the Matapopore Charitable Trust, we were established, and within that, I've already touched on the fact that we have got our fabulous trustees, and we have an endorsement process in place, and that allows us to, allows our trustees to look at what we're doing and to review it and to say, and to ensure that whatever we do, because we are dealing in mātauranga Ngāi Tuahuriri, we're dealing in traditional knowledge, and it must be a true reflection of Ngāi Tuahuriri, and they're the ones who ensure that it is, and we have an endorsement process to, to prove that. And so right at the beginning, we developed, Dr. Tamairi Tau, who is a upoko of Ngāi Tuahuriri, he is also the director of the Ngāi Tahu Research Centre, he wrote our historical narratives, the cultural narratives, and that's our Bible. They are the stories were identified years ago, the stories were identified that were given to us, and that's what we are using to embed into the city. So, tūranga. So the cultural narrative for tūranga is centred on the notion of mātauranga mana whenua, the body of knowledge that originates from the people of this place. Tūranga as a library is a knowledge-based environment that reflects the variety of ways in which knowledge is transferred, acquired and retained. Storytelling, or storying, has an important place within Māoridom and Māori culture. It provides information and knowledge which is passed from one generation to the next. Stories tell of the past, important events, whakapapa, the natural environment, our resources, and the importance of respecting and caring for the natural world. Storying was traditionally either oral or told through visual traditional Māori art forms. And post-European contact, it was also written through such things as manuscripts. So Matapopore explored ways in which tūranga could express and embody stories of the acquisition of knowledge and knowledge transfer. And it's important to note that, right throughout the city, all the stories that we're telling weave together, they all connect. And I'll give you one example of that within Cathedral Square. The name for Cathedral Square is Whitirea. Now I'll get onto the meaning of that in a moment. But firstly, tūranga, the name tūranga is is located on the east coast of the North Island. Tūranga is the homeland of the Ngāi Tahu ancestor Paikea, who made his way to Aotearoa on the back of a whale from the ancestral homeland Hawaiki. Paikea founded the East Coast tribe Ngāti Porou and subsequently Ngāi Tahu. Tūranga is a name that carries with it considerable responsibility. Tūranga speaks of whakapapa across generations, connections to the north and wider to the Pacific. The name given to Cathedral Square, as I mentioned, is Whitireia. Now, Whitireia is the name of Paikea's whare, or his home. So when we are working within the city, we're weaving our stories together and we're looking how our names connect. Whitireia is also the name of the land on which St. Stephen's Church at Tuahiwi sits. It is also the name given to the vicarage and to the garden and spring nearby Tuahiwi. Tūranga is celebrated in a depiction on the west-facing wall of the library building. The external wall captures the significance of Ngāi Tahu whakapapa and celebrates migration and voyaging of generations from Hawaiki to Te Waipounamu. This marks the beginning of human migration and can be applied to tangata katoa around the world. And our fabulous artist Morgan Matthews Hale also she also designed the lift surrounds within the library. They're part of our wayfinding strategy, so each floor has kind of got its theme. But the lift surrounds really tell of the journey of Tāwhaki. And I'll get back to who Tāwhaki is in a minute. But Tāwhaki, he travelled through the heavens to obtain our knowledge. And that, the knowledge which Māori term as mātauranga. So Ngāi Tahu narrative tells how tukutuku, or the spider's web which Tāwhaki climbed to ascend to the heavens, and that's represented through the various designs within the lift surrounds. And each lift surround also contains, I suppose, imagery of different important manu. So on the ground floor, we've got more of our land-dwelling manu, and as we ascend higher within the building, we have the manu which, fly higher. So manu are kind of a way of expressing also, our uplift as we aspire to obtain knowledge, as we head towards the heavens. This is another one of Morgan's artworks. This greets you as you walk in. It bodies the concept of manaki. It's an eyeball that's kind of greeting you in, and each side of it, she's got again the manu, which represent how we fly towards the heavens to obtain, to seek more. Bain Robinson and his nephew Caleb worked on these pieces, in particular Tāwhaki. So Tāwhaki is the sculpture that greets you as you're walking up the stairs. And Tāwhaki, his role in obtaining the knowledge was really important. Now, as you come down, you'll also see at the base of the stairs there's another artwork, and that represents the 3 stones. So Tāwhaki brought down 3 stones from the heavens, and that also represents types of stones that were important to Māori, to Ngāi Tahu, to carve as implements, tools, and so forth. And the design itself is based on the frame that they sit on is a kōwhaiwhai design. The room that we're in now contains the artwork, again by Morgan and also Ricky Manuel. So this expresses a Ngāi Tahu creation story. And unfortunately, you can't see much of it because we've got the screens in front of us. So this talks about the union of Ranginui and his first wife. And they gave birth to Aoraki and his brothers, and that was the formation of the Southern Alps. So kia ora, I think that's it. You've got a lot of that information in your handout, so you're going to be able to read a bit more detail. I've just given you a real quick overview of how we've taken this narrative and woven it through the building in lots of different ways. Okay, thank you. Kia ora.